Good morning. Another tutorial from Leanna, the Pastry Queen's Farm Adventures. How's everyone doing this morning? So this quilt is brought to you by Carmons Quilt Shop. She sent me this quilt called Garden Secret, and I've been working on it. And the fabric comes from her shop as well, the bright color fabrics. This came from my stash that I had. And let's just go over this. You may have this. You may have bought this once and said, oh, that's on my bucket list of things to do. Well, here I'm making it, and I'll show you my tips and tricks. So I went ahead, read it. Everything gets sewn up individually, all your squares and your rectangles. And you know what I decided to do? I decided to strip piece. Yep, I wanted to make this and streamline this. So when I cut my pieces, I went ahead and I didn't cut them into the segments they told you to cut them. I strip pieced them, and then I cut the segments. So as you can see, I strip pieced a green and yellow, a red and a blue, and I even strip pieced this purple and blue. And what I did is I just cut them up into the size segments that I would need instead of individually cutting everything out. That's the first tip. The next thing is I went ahead and they have you do your 4 patches, and then you add these 2 to the sides. You can continue doing that. You do what makes you happy. I actually went ahead and I made my set like this. So it's up to you, but it's probably easier to do your 4 patches together first and then add these side pieces. But you live and you learn, and having to do it again, I probably would. So I'm going to go ahead and press this. And as you can see, when I press this, everything lies completely flat. And I will show you the back. See, everything is nesting. Everything is flat. So now I'm going to come in here. Every single block is made the same. So you have to look at your direction of how you're putting your black and your white. So I do pin because we are working on bias. On this, I pieced this exactly how it is in the instructions. There really wasn't any easy way to. I thought there was. No, it didn't work out that way. So I'm going to come in here. I am going to look at what I've done before. And the white is towards the pink. So I am going to come in here and I am going to go right there where it intersects and nests, and I will pop a pin there and pop a pin over here. It's a little strange, right? A little wonky because you have a little extra, right? That's all good. I'll show you why you're going to have that. So we're going to come in here and we are going to stitch a 1/4 inch or so, a 1/4 inch. And then I'll do that. I come around here. Now, when this comes here, it's on the opposite. If you notice, it's on the opposite. When I'm looking down here, it's because I want to make sure that I have done this correct. Oh, maybe I didn't even put this correctly. Let's see. Yes, I did. Okay. So I want to make sure that my white is over here. So I am going to come here. And so half this stack you're going to press one way of the white and black and half the other so that everything nests. In this case, I didn't do that. So I'm just coming in here right now and finger pressing my seam over. And when I press it for real, I will get it nice and crisp. I'm going to come in here and now a 1/4 inch. But the biggest tip and trick I have for you on this is really strip piecing. It makes things go much quicker. It really does. All right, so we're going to pull out my board here, and I have how to make this. I have a video on that. So I'm going to come in here and press, and I press these out. And now I have this strange looking block, don't I? Look at that. That's a little wonky crazy. We can't sew that in a quilt. No. But what we will do is we will take our cut here And this one's a little bit bigger than, a little smaller than I like. So I'm going to come in here, and how I am going to know this is you are right in this. This is Granny's secret. Right in here tells you the size that you're going to trim this down to. So I pay attention to the lines of my trimmer. So here's my trimming ruler, and I'm making sure that that we're going to reach all spots, right? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to come in here and make sure that this line here, of course I've got this upside down, so let's do that. So I'm going to make sure that this line here lines up. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure this corner lines up. Now, if you look at this right now, they do not. This corner is not on that line. So I am just going to scooch this down until this lines up across here and this lines up across here. Yeah, there's a little bit of a fudge factor sometimes, but right now we're looking good. So I am going to come in here and I'm going to, and this is awkward because I am in this little spot, right? And then I have a rotating mat. So I'm going to come over here and cut this all the way. Now, did I do that? Yes, I did. And I'm going to come here and, of course, wish my mat was just a scooch bigger. I'm just going to come in here and, I didn't make it the end. There, take that. Now I'm going to rotate this. And when I'm rotating this, let me see if I can find a spot. Again, I'm going to take my ruler. Now this time I'm going to go all the way to the end. Now, if you had a bigger mat, you could just do this all at one time. That's just, unfortunately, for TV purposes, TV, listen to me, for video purposes, we're just going to have to do it like this. Sometimes we just have to make do. I'm going to come all the way over here, and there we are. Let's put that side a little bit there. And now we have our block. Let me show you where this block is going to go. And we're going to come over here to my design wall. So I'm going to move all this. Yes, this is leftovers. So you can use this in crumb piecing. You know, we got some triangles here. You know, I put them in my doggy bed sometimes, but I also let the kiddos play with them. You can come up with all different ideas. So I'm moving my camera around, and we are coming up here, and look, it is up. Look at how beautiful it is. I am loving this. So this quilt is not going to have a border. This is the quilt. It is a square quilt, but in here, there are many, many, many different ways that you can lay this out. So I have them all done except for this one block. This one block has got to go down here, if you notice. So I'm going to come in here and put it right here. Here it forms a pinwheel, and then it makes this diamond shape. And I will sew that to this. And what I do is sew these two together, and then this big chunk I'll sew to this. My quilt will be ready to go on the long arm. And isn't this beautiful? It's strikingly beautiful. I love it. It's very cheery. So everyone, I hope my tips and tricks to the Granny's Secret quilt is helpful to you, inspires you. And if you don't have it, you can go to Carmons Quilt Shop and purchase it there. She doesn't even know I'm saying this, but you know, I like to give credit where credit's due. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining me. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. Take care of yourself, pass it forward, and I'll see you soon. Bye.